What's up, you guys? Welcome to the first episode of the Dawn and Greg Show. My name is Dawn.
And I'm Greg.
And we are excited to share some big announcements with you and tell you a little bit about what this channel is going to be all about.
For those of you who don't know, Dawn and I are married, and we have had the idea to sell everything that we own and leave the country. Our original plan, and still is that we're going to be going to Southeast Asia. However, with the way things are in the world right now, we cannot seem to make it over there. So we're going to settle for the next best thing, and we're going to pack up and go to Mexico. Darling?
Yes, we are super excited to be heading out to Mexico. And what we wanted to do was to create this channel to share our adventures with all of you. We want to share all the things that we are doing, all the things that we are experiencing, and do our best to bring some unity into the world and show the reality of what other cultures and other countries are, because there's always this big misconception that we're going to be in danger and we should be in fear of going anywhere outside of the U.S. And we want to help everyone see how beautiful the rest of the world is and how safe the rest of the world is.
We want to do our best to capture on video our adventures, our travels, our day-to-day life routine in another country. We want to show other culture. We want to show the way people worship, the way they eat, the way they live on a day-to-day basis, and we want to be a part of that. We want to experience everything we can in life. This is where we are. This is what we plan to do with our lives.
So let's tell you a little bit about how Greg and I met, a little bit about our story. It's quite an interesting one for those of you that don't know us. We met about 3 years ago on Tinder.
Yeah, I know.
To be honest, I was in a place where I wanted to date and see what was out there. And then this guy asked me to ice cream, and it was pretty much almost like love at first sight.
It was for me anyway. So on that first date, we met for ice cream, and I had already had a trip planned to Bali for scuba diving, and of course just to see the country. And I mentioned that to her and invited her. We asked her if she'd like to come to Bali with me. And she said yes, basically. So within 3 weeks of that first date, we were literally both on planes heading to Bali to meet up. And we called Bali our fourth date because that's what it was.
One of the things that actually attracted me to him when we were on Tinder was his profile talked about how much he loved travel, he loved CrossFit, which we are both into, and I wanted to know more about this guy. And so, of course, when he told me he was going to Bali, I was like, why would I not go? I was able to go, so why not? And we spent 9 beautiful days on a beautiful island, and we realized how well we traveled together.
Oh, yeah.
That we just, it was like we had been together for years. And while we were there, Greg kept looking to plan our next trip. We talked about going to all these different places, and we ended up deciding to go to the Dominican Republic just a couple months later. It was around my birthday, so we went and had a beautiful trip in the Dominican. I got certified to do scuba, and we scuba dove. We went scuba diving.
Scuba dove.
We went scuba diving during that whole trip, and that was absolutely amazing. And let's see, a few months later, we ended up going to Mexico on our third trip together in less than a year, for sure.
Yes. I've been on 5 dive trips to Mexico. Absolutely love it. You go down to Playa or Cancun or anywhere down there. It's just absolutely amazing. The weather is amazing. The people are friendly. The food is great. It's inexpensive and it's safe. Yes, it's safe. Mexico is safe, people. We wouldn't be going if we thought for 1 second that our lives would be in danger. And Mexico is just going to be a temporary stop for us until the world starts being less crazy and we're going to get a chance to go to Southeast Asia, because that's where our heart really is. We really have our set heart on probably Vietnam or Malaysia is where we're at right now.
So about a year and a half ago, I had this idea that once our dogs passed, that we would just sell everything we own and travel the world. Greg was not having it. He wanted to be here in Texas. He says, I'm a Texas boy. I'm always going to be living here in Texas. And he wasn't having any of it. Well, 2 days later, all of a sudden it's his idea. And he comes in from the mailbox saying, hey, what would you think if we just sold everything and moved to Thailand? And I was like, well, never thought of that before.
So we first thought about Thailand, but we did lots of research and discovered that we probably were more interested in Vietnam or Malaysia.
As we got more into our research and started planning all of this out, then we thought, well, if we are going to do all this travel, we might as well start a YouTube channel. We should share all of this with all of our friends and family. Why not? Why not have an opportunity to kind of take everyone with us as we go?
Yes.
and share with you all the things that we experience.
Yeah, and you know, some of the inspiration that's from all this is the fact that Don and I don't own a TV, right? But we do watch some things on YouTube and things like that. And the things that we really enjoy is watching other people's travel vlogs, right? It's really about all I watch, a couple other things. But we find it so inspiring and so much fun and so freeing. And we, you know, these people that are doing this, you know, have become a lot of mentors to us. So we can do that, right? Why can't we do that? Well, we can and we will.
When we started thinking about what would we call our channel, we remembered that while we were in Bali one day, cooking class.
We had a cooking class,
We had a
that's
cooking
right.
class. And I had made a post on Instagram saying, in this episode of the Dawn and Greg Show, we take a Balinese cooking class. And we were like, okay, Dawn and Greg Show, that is going to be the name of our channel.
Yeah, it seemed to fit perfectly.
Yep.
Somehow that phrase just stuck with us long before the idea of this even had to come up. We just thought there's something to that. Well, we're going to use it.
And so we made all these decisions. We did all this research, and we've just been stuck. We still have one of our dogs, Layla. She's still with us. And then COVID happened, and travel all around the world mostly stopped. We were getting really, really impatient.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, we both were. We're frustrated. We know this is something that we want to do. We know this is what we're being guided and led to do. And it's just been frustrating being stuck in this holding pattern. So one day, Greg was like, well, there's no travel restrictions to Mexico. Yeah. We can take Layla to Mexico.
Fairly easily. There's hardly any restrictions to bring a pet into Mexico. Go Mexico.
So, I mean, would it really be that bad to be hanging out on a beach in Mexico?
Yeah.
So then we started looking into it, doing more research, figuring things out. And one day we were just sitting here and said, okay, are we going to do this? Are we going to
Let's pull the trigger.
Yeah. So here we are, making this decision, putting it out there, no turning back.
Yeah, so as of right now, when we're making this video, we've already met with our estate sale people. We're already making arrangements to get everything we have liquidated. We plan to be out of this house we're in right now, which I've been in for 10 years. We're going to be out of it by the end of January. So it's about a month and a half from making this video. We are officially going to be on the move, become digital nomads. Our plan is the beginning is to go visit her mother in Louisiana for a while. And then we're going to go to the Dallas area and visit my parents for a few. And then from there, we'll be heading to Cancun. So we're hoping by the 1st of February, we will officially be in Mexico.
There are still some things that we are unsure of. I have a reservation about getting on a plane with Layla. For those of you who have not met her, she is the sweetest soul alive. She is a 15-and-a-half-year-old pit bull mix. So she's fairly large. She's 65-ish pounds. And we could get her certified as an emotional support dog and take her on the plane with us for a short little flight down to Mexico. She's not in the greatest health. She's okay, but not in the greatest. So there are some reservations I have about taking her on the plane. Plus, if you've met her, she's so skittish. She is scared of her own shadow.
She is.
She's scared of her farts.
She totally dispels the myth that pit bulls are these big, bad, evil creatures. They're not. She's the sweetest, timidest thing ever.
And with that, I just think it would be terrifying for her to be in an airport with a bunch of people, loud noises, be on the plane with a bunch of people and loud noises. And I just don't feel like that would be a good place for her. However, driving,
it offers its own set of challenges. If we plan to leave from the Dallas area and make it to Cancun, we're looking at around 2,000 miles. Bringing a pet with even more frequent stops, we're looking at a possibly 4 to 5 day trip. There's pros and cons of that, just like there's pros and cons of flying. So we are unsure what we're going to do. I personally want to get on a plane and it'll be over in 2 hours and 45 minutes, but we'll see.
So if any of you have any experience with any of this, any suggestions or advice other than don't drive to Mexico, it's unsafe, because
we don't want to hear it.
Don't want to hear that. But if you have serious experience with flying with a pet or driving with a pet into Mexico, we would love to hear what experience you've had and what suggestions you might have that could make this decision easier for us. Our hope is not only to give you a little insight into our lives and what we're doing, but we also hope to inspire you to live your own dreams. Maybe your dream isn't to quit your job and sell all your things and move to a foreign country, but maybe you do have some dreams in the back of your mind that you're always saying, I'm not going to ever be able to do that. That's not possible for me. Or what's the use in even trying? So we hope that seeing us do this, because there was a time we thought this wouldn't be possible for us. This isn't something that, has come easily, but it is something that we knew in our hearts that we wanted to do. And we finally just decided we control our own destiny. Yes. And we have to just take the bull by the horns and go ahead and make this happen for ourselves. Because if we don't, we will regret not doing this one day. So think about, are there things that one day you're going to regret not doing? What are those things? Maybe you can be inspired to start doing those things.
Absolutely, because we sit here today from being inspired by other people that were willing to set aside any fears and go on and live life in a way that's more rewarding to them. We both have had careers in serious careers I walked away from 4 years ago. She walked away from as well. We've discovered things about ourselves is that my job is not what I identify with anymore. My bank account is not what I identify with anymore, right? Spiritual journey has nothing to do with the outside world. It's about my internal condition. So our hope is that we inspire you, because we ourselves have been inspired by others who've taken that leap of faith, right? I believe that, life will pass us by, and one day we're going to wake up and go, well, we should have done this, we should have done that. Dawn and I have decided we're not going to do that. We are going to go out there and attack life. The lifestyle that we're going to adopt as a digital nomad is very exciting. It's terrifying and exciting all at the same time. I'm a materialistic person. I have been my whole life. And for me to start getting rid of these things that I've always thought that identified with what I was, and I'm starting to strip these things down, it's a very freeing process. And is when Dawn and I leave, we are literally going to be walking out of here with whatever we can carry, suitcases and backpacks. We are stripping our lives down to that degree.
We've realized what's really important in life. It's not about how much money we make. It's not about what kind of car we drive, how big of a house we own, or any of the little things that for both of us used to be really important. It's really about experiences. It's about connection.
Yes.
It's about relationship. And there's one thing that's been some good that has come out of the recent pandemic is that we've learned through these past few months how easy it is to maintain that connection with the people that are important to us. We have been able to use Zoom in a way we never thought possible, because there's people that are really important to us that don't live very far from us, but because of the situation, we have taken to building those relationships over Zoom, and we can continue to do that no matter where in the world that we are. And that has been a beautiful thing that has alleviated some of the fears that we had, because we did have some fears of what's going to happen when it's just me and you in another country and we don't know anyone else. Where are we going to fill our own cups up with our own connections and friendships and things outside of each other? And we realize how easy that is to do just with technology. The same thing we're using here to record this video for you is the same thing we're going to be able to stay connected with all of our friends and family and loved ones back home.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for our next video, we are going to tell you a little bit about some of the process that it takes to uproot your life and move to another country. We'll kind of review some of the things we have already done, some of the things that are in process, and some of the things that we still have to do. So if there's anyone out there that is looking for information on how do I even get started if I was to want to move to another country, what are the things that I need to consider and the things that I need to do? So we're going to bring all of that process to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been real fortunate that both of our families are extremely supportive in this. My parents can't say enough about it. My father, I just talked to him the other day, and he was telling me, go son, go before it's too late, right? And that's what we're going to do. And her mother's also very supportive.
All right. Well, looks like that's all we've got for today. So tune in for the next video, and we'll see you soon.